It was rare to see people on the trail. Most people looked at the steep, unforgiving incline and turned around, leaving it to the regulars. The middle-aged lesbian couple, the old but vigorous man, the kid training for cross-country, and my dog, Bella, and I. When we did see new people attempting it, it was almost like a hazing ritual. We would silently laugh at their struggles and remember how our legs felt the first time we climbed it. The trail was at a terrible slant, a 3-mile walk up a 45-degree angle. After a sharp turn, it eventually came to a gentle downslope, then leveled. If you survived all of that, the path let you in on its secret. After half a mile of flat ground, you took a turn and came to a beautiful little pond. Willow trees surrounded it and birds flew overhead. The air smelled sweet and fresh. It was peaceful and romantic. Bella would swim in the pond and I would lay down on the grass and take a nap. I went every single day. It was my favorite place in the world. On this particular morning, I saw a family of 4 standing beside a van. On the top of the van were bikes. Oh no, I thought to myself. The hill was hard enough to walk, but to pedal up would be nearly impossible, especially since the 2 kids looked younger than 10. Bella barked a greeting and the 2 kids ran up to her smiling. She gave them both a kiss on their cheek. "What are your names?" I asked. "I'm Jamie, and this is my sister Emma. Nice to meet you. I'm Allison. This is Bella." He was about to say more, but their parents called them over. I waved and then continued on with my walk. After about 5 minutes, the family passed me. The kids were doing surprisingly well. In fact, it was the parents who were huffing and puffing. "Hi, Bella," Emma yelled as she rode past. Bella barked a reply. Soon the family was out of sight. I walked for 10 more minutes and then I heard a scream. It was high-pitched and sounded like a little kid. I started to run, fearing that they had missed a turn and gone over the edge of the hill. Bella ran faster and soon she was pulling me up. I felt a pit in the bottom of my stomach. What would be up there waiting for me? Distraught parents? Emma or Jamie? Broken bones or a broken body? When I got to the top, I looked at the downslope and began to laugh. It was the husband. His brakes were screeching and screaming like a little kid as he tried to slow his descent. Jesus Christ, I thought. They need some oil. Eventually I came to the little pond. The dad was playing with Jamie and Emma in the water and the mother was lying in the shade. She smiled at me. "Beautiful morning, isn't it?" I said. "Oh yes, it was so pretty today. We just had to go. I'm Allison. Nice to meet you. I'm Lillian. Also, I apologize for that noise you heard. My husband's had that bike for 10 years now, and he's never greased it." I began to laugh. I thought it was one of them screaming. I got so scared. I ran up the hill and prepared to call 911. "Oh no," she laughed. "God, I'm so sorry. I'm going to make Mike fix up that bike first thing tomorrow." Her husband called her over and we parted ways. They seemed like a sweet family. I was glad they didn't turn back at the first sight of the hill. The pond could use some more visitors. I wasn't able to go hiking for a week after that. My boss sent me out of town to meet a high-profile client. By the time I got back, my legs were aching for exercise, and Bella was practically beside herself for it too. We went the next morning, and I saw the family at the entrance again. Soon enough, they passed me. 10 minutes later, I heard the husband's brakes wailing. I guess he forgot. I laughed. When I met them at the pond, the kids came up to me. "We start school next week. We're going to have to make all new friends," Emma said sadly. "Oh, cheer up. You guys will be fine. You're really cool kids and everyone will love you. Besides, you already have 2 friends." I pointed at me and Bella, which sent them into fits of laughter. They started to come every morning, and it became sort of a ritual for us to meet at the pond and talk. Lillian was a high-up sales executive, and Mike was a malpractice lawyer. They had to move because one of the guys Mike and his client were suing was hellbent on retaliation. When he tried to break in and murder the family, Lillian and Mike decided it was time to leave. They changed their names and started new. I told them about my life. I was a graphic designer for a startup. I had lived here my entire life, married once when I was very young, but divorced him after the 3rd affair. One day, I met the lesbian couple as I was going back. Martha and Gilda were their names. "How about that new family with the kids?" I said cheerfully. "Oh yeah, terrible. Such irresponsible parents," Gilda replied. "They are not bad parents. They just try to keep their kids safe." They looked peculiarly at me, then walked on. Mike had put his kids in a lot of danger, but you could hardly blame him. It was his job. I guess some people just weren't that understanding. I didn't see the family all of next week because of school, but on Saturday, I heard the familiar screeching of brakes and smiled. Bella had learned to recognize it too. She associated the high-pitched whine with pets and kisses from the kids. Pavlov conditioning, I supposed. She began to walk faster in anticipation of seeing her best friends, and then cocked her ears. "What is it, Bella?" I laughed. She growled a reply, and then the smell hit us. "Jesus," I said. "What died here?" There were bunnies and ducks, but I had never seen a deer. The only thing big enough to create such a stench. I covered my nose, then started to walk to the pond. I didn't see the family. They must have continued on because of the smell. That's when I saw the bikes. They were mangled and broken and tangled in a heap. The wheels were twisted and the handlebars ripped off. I let out a sob. I pulled the bikes off each other. Jamie's, then Emma's, then Lillian's, then Mike's, and uncovered their bodies in the same order. It was a horrific sight. Their bodies were twisted up and rotted out. Jamie's leg was stretched out behind him at an impossible angle. Emma's shoulder had been dislocated to the point that I could see bone. Their hair was matted red with blood. Mike's head was caved in. His brains spilled out into his wife's chest. As far as I could tell, Lillian was not injured at all. And then I lifted up her wrist. Their bodies were so decayed that maggots were crawling in and out and flies landed with abandon. They must have been here for weeks, gone over the hill one by one, all except Lillian. Was it the first time I heard those brakes that were not brakes? The second? I don't know. Does it matter? I laughed when I thought they were brakes. God help me. Now I hear them every day. Shout out to my superfans, Sweet Black Swan, Tacey, and Brooklyn. I really appreciate you guys supporting my channel, and I really look forward to making more content for everyone.